And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I am back with another video for you guys. Look, I didn't do it last week because I felt like the market did not call for it, but today we're going to be counting down the top 10 cards under 100k MT in NBA 2K22. My team. There's not really any parameters here. 4 honorable mentions, and then I count down the list. So, it is what it is. Let's get started. Right? Get the Galaxy Opal out of there. Number 1 honorable mention. I don't think he's quite good enough to go on the actual list himself, but Pink Diamond LeBron James. Look, he's okay. Like, objectively, he's okay. He attacks the rim. He obviously can be a point forward. He plays great defense. He's not the worst shooter in the world. You can obviously get away with shooting with him just fine. I actually don't mind LeBron's release this year. I actually think this card is really, really good for like budget players, to be honest. I still think there's guys that are better that you could get that still play the same positions as him, both of which you'll see on this list later. I think the biggest real issue I have with this LeBron card is the fact that he can't get corner specialists, and that drives me nuts. It's just like a little thing that drives me insane. But if you're a big Bron fan and you want to play with this card, I mean, by all means, go for it. Like, this card's pretty solid, right? Next honorable mention is a card you'll probably see featured prominently tomorrow on the budget card list, but let's get him out of the way now. Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice is pretty good. Like, he's got a decent release. I forgot exactly what his base is. Let me check his base. Yeah, so he's got jump shot 13, which is the same as like Danny Green and Larry Johnson. It's good though. Catch and shoot, corner specialist, blinder, circus, limitless, set shooter, deadeye, like volume shooter, sniper. He's got a good array of badges. He's 6'7" with a good wingspan as well. Player build wise, he's fire, dude. 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan. Like, it's good. It's good enough, He's not the best at finishing, but I will say that as far as like for what his price is, which he kind of bottoms out around 6 to 8K, which I think is a really good price for Glenn Rice, realistically. I think that's probably either the best or second best like guard / wing that you can buy for around that price. You can make a argument that like Diamond Tyler Hero is a little bit better or something, but at the same time, for his combination of like size and shooting ability, and like he's not bad defensively, like he's pretty solid. I think he deserves to at least be an honorable mention, but don't worry, we'll talk more about him tomorrow. Next up, we got a card that's barely under 100k, and that's Opal Steph. You can get, Opal Steph right here, NBA 75, Opal Steph for 90k. That's a steal. Steph's still one of the best offensive point guards in this game. He can move, he can shoot, he shoots leaners better than pretty much anyone in the game, realistically. I don't really need to go too in-depth in Steph. Like, you kind of know what you're getting when it comes to Steph. Now, that being said, should you grab this one for 90k when you can grab one with 16 Hoffs for 10k less? I would recommend grabbing this one. It's not like you're going to use him for an incredible amount of time anyway, so I think it's probably worth that, at least. You know what I mean? The final honorable mention, the only reason he's an honorable mention is because he's a little bit on the pricey side, but the card's still really good. One of the most slept on cards in the game is Bosh. Bosh is still good, just a little bit, like I said, on the pricey side. Now, you can get one with 17 Hoff badges for 80k, though. That's pretty good. Like, Bosh is still fine. He has a good release. He plays good defense. He's good on the interior. There's nothing really wrong with this card. He's just kind of okay. All right, let's get on with the list. Number 10. I only have this card ranked so low because I've talked about it so many times. I just don't feel like talking about it anymore. But Andre Karolinko, I'll talk more about him tomorrow in the budget card list. He's really, really cheap right now. Look, you can get badged up versions. You can get ones with like unlimited contracts, unlimited shoes and stuff for right around like the median amount. And he's still like a top tier small forward, power forward in this game. I don't care what anyone says. AK is still nasty. People still run him for a reason. He plays lockdown defense. He attacks the rim. He can shoot. He's got that base 98, which isn't the greatest this year, but it's not like terrible at all, obviously. It's just not quite as meta as it used to be. He's still one of the best wings in this game. The only reason he's so low on this list is because, like, I feel like everybody has this card or has had this card at some point. So it's like not a shocker that he's on this list. Number 9, this card isn't necessarily better than Andre Kirilenko, by the way. Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons is the greatest card in the world. I mean, honestly, when I had him, I didn't really like him that much, but he does fill a specific need. And if you're wanting a 6'10", 6'11", sorry, point guard that's a little bit sluggish but can still like post hook people to death, I mean, you can't really get any better than Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons is that guy. So the 62 3-pointer is not good, but he can green them. His jump shot's not that bad. So I will say that. He's, you know what you're getting. Next up is what I would consider to be a next gen only card, and that is Carmelo Anthony. Melo the God. This card, NBA 75 Melo, is actually really, really good. Like base Melo is not terrible, but NBA 75 Melo is fantastic because you can add whatever badges you want to him, which I think is kind of underrated when it comes to Melo. Like he already comes standard with like Hoff blinders, Hoff catch and shoot, chef, and limitless spot up, like an all gold defensive badges. But if you can give him like rim protector, like box, worm, he comes pretty much like ready to go. The one thing I would say that he needs is dimer. Like that's about it. Everything else is kind of just like, not here. I was gonna say hearsay, but that doesn't make any sense. Everything else is kind of just personal preference. But Melo is one of the most well-rounded and the best small forward power forwards that you can buy in this game on next gen. On current gen, he's still usable and good. The problem is you can't shoot from the corners with him, which is like really not tight. But on next gen, he is a top tier small forward. I do not care what anyone says. Number 7 is another new card, and that is Jokic. Jokic is very, very good. The thing I will say is his jump shot is a little hard to master. It's pretty slow. I don't like it very much. It just seems way worse on Jokic, I will say, than anyone else who has it. Not a knock on Jokic. It's just like, I feel like this jump shot is worse on him than it is on like Hakeem or Marc Gasol or Vucevic or something. And I think that has to do with his release 138 upper, which I hate. That being said, like he is the best point center in this game. Like if we're talking about point centers, Cats. I forgot about Cat. Cat is really good as well. Jokic can hold it down. It's just you really have to get used to his jumper. But for this price, I don't know if there's a better all-around center. You know what I mean? So it might be worth it. Number 6, a card that's been on this list for like 10 weeks in a row. This is like the gold digger of my team cards, dude, for real. He's been number 1. He's been number like 10 almost. Kawhi Leonard. This is like, you can get a 16 Hoff badge Kawhi Leonard for 100K. That's stupid. Like, that's stupid. That card will keep up with Opals and Dark Matters. So, like, realistically, Kawhi's a monster. This one's 15 Hoff badges for 64K. Nuts. Hoff badges are pretty good, too. Kawhi's nasty. He plays some of the best defense in this game, especially for a 2-guard. He can move a little bit, too. He's got a good jump shot. Nothing wrong with this card. There's honestly no reason he should be as cheap as he is. But here we are. He is this cheap, and it is what it is, I guess. Number 5, another card that's a little too cheap for my liking as far as like how good the card is, and that's Terry Disinger. People like Terry, though. People hold on to Terry. People are abandoning Kawhi, but for some reason people aren't doing that same thing to Terry Disinger. I don't know why that is. Terry's still like a top tier small forward shooting guard in this game. That's my boy. I still run him. I like Terry more than our number 1 card on this list. Spoiler alert, I do. He still holds it down. That Rudy base is what really does it, man. I swear. Number 4 is probably the best center you can buy for under 100K, and that's Big Kristaps. Once again, I've talked about this card way too much. As far as the discourse between him and Jokic, it really just depends what you need your center to do. Kristaps is going to contest shots better. He's going to be a little bit better of a rebounder, and he's obviously going to be a better shooter. Jokic is going to do everything else a little bit better. He's going to be a better like on-ball defender. He's going to be a little bit faster. He's going to be better at handling the rock and distributing the ball. He can still shoot well too, but the jump shot is gross. Kristaps is actually pretty good. Stops is, you know what you're getting with Kristaps. Come on, bro. Number 3, easily the best point guard for under 100K that you can buy, and that's Lamelo Ball. Lamelo is Lamelo. Like, he's a big body point guard that carries the rock. He attacks the rim. He can shoot a little bit. I personally don't think his jump shot's bad. People get mad about slasher dribble style. I personally don't think it's a big deal, probably because I suck and I'm not really that big of a dribbler. That probably has something to do. And if you're wondering why my voice is scratchy, it's because I've streamed 2 times today. So shout out to you if you were in the stream. That's pretty cool. Lamelo is Lamelo. He's one of the more pricey cards on this list, but he's worth that price. Like, he's still fantastic. Like, he didn't even come out that long ago. He's 6'6", one of the better point guards in this game. I would be willing to say he's a top 5 point guard. That might be a contentious statement, but I do think it's real. Next up, we got Thurl Bailey. Let's go with Opal Thurl. Obviously, he's better. Thurl Bailey is relatively cheap and is the most dominant card that you can buy for this price. I know there's a lot of hype for Pink Diamond Larry Nance that you can earn, and I think that is rightful in some capacity. Like, he does look like a very good card. People are saying he's essentially like a Giannis clone, which isn't wrong, but I feel like Larry Nance, as good as he is, even though you can give him badges and stuff, which is huge, you do need to badge him up quite a bit. And I feel like even if you badge up Larry Nance, like, he's not really that much better than Thurl Bailey, who you can get for like 20K. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. Like, truly. Thurl has a higher badge count altogether. Like, he's got 5 more Hoff badges. Size-wise, he's like an inch taller. Larry Nance is a little bit better of a wingspan. He's a much better shooter than Larry Nance. Granted, Larry Nance is a little bit better of a dunker, but it really doesn't matter. Nance is his vertical is a little bit better. Like, his defense is kind of better. I just don't understand why people are hyping up Larry Nance so much when, like, Thurl Bailey literally exists. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense because Thurl Bailey is so much better in, like, every metric to a certain extent, except for dunking. I will say that. I mean, yeah, get Larry Nance is free. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Did Karl Anthony Towns just win the 3-point contest? Oh man, we're getting a new cat already. His price is about to just tank, dude. That's sick. Next up would be number 1, and it's no contest. Like, literally, it's it's Zach Levine. It's not even remotely close. Zach Levine is easily the best card you can buy for under 100K right now. Yeah, the market collapse that happened earlier because everyone got kicked off. Like, you could get cards for right at 100K that you shouldn't have been able to, like Derrick Rose and Jalen Rose and stuff, but Zach Levine is by far the best card you can buy for under 100K. Catch and shoot, difficult shots. Like, he's got Hoff Limitless, spot up. The only thing he doesn't have is Hoff Chef, really. And like hyper drive and some defensive badges and stuff like that. But Zach Levine, with his release, his combination of release, movement speed, like, he's just ridiculous in every capacity. He's got quick dribble style. This card is fantastic. And if you pick this card up for 100K, I promise that your team will instantaneously get better. He is better than Booker. He's unfortunate. I personally prefer Terry Disinger, but he's better than Terry Disinger, if that makes sense. He's better than Kawhi. He's better than every single shooting guard that you could buy for under, realistically, like 500K. Like, Clay, no, I can't say he's better than Clay, but he's like at Klay Thompson's level. The only 2 guys he's not better than are T-Mac and Kobe Bryant. Like, outright. You know what I mean? Zach Levine is the guy. He's the most expensive card in this list, besides Steph. And to be honest, he's worth every single penny. This card is stupid. Granted, we're probably going to get a shooting guard that's just as good, if not better, in like a week, knowing 2K. But in the meantime, Zach Levine is an absolute demon. As always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. I'm also dropping another pack opening. Shout out to my boy Transition for sponsoring the pack opening. My man gave me VC as a tip during the stream. And I was able to open a few boxes and stuff, which I really, really appreciate. So thank you so much. Drop a like on this video, and I'll be back with the budget card list tomorrow. Peace.